So let me open up my arc, and today we'll discuss how to access your lightning components. Lightning Aura components with say Apex classes. Okay, so we'll see how to use Aura methods inside your lightning components. Is there a way that we need to find a way? Is there a rules that I need to follow? How different it would be from Aura components and everything? So we can see that. Let's go to our tab called LWC. So we have a component called LWC, right? So this is LWC. Let's check it out. What is our LWC component? The first one is called myHeader component.html, right? This is the component that we were using. Let me create a new component quickly. Otherwise, before creating, let me create a branch first. Let's say Apex class LWC slash Apex classes. So I'm creating a branch from master remote branch. There will be two branches, like one is master if this is a local, and if you see remote branch, this is remote branch in the sense actual repository URL. I'm cloning from my master. Perfect. So now I'll create my branch component sfdx create lightning web component. Create lightning web component. I will say LWC Apex class. LWC Apex class. You are able to see my screen, or do you want to increase my settings? Font size 18. Now, okay, thank you. Or do you want to increase little more? Okay. So this is my a new lightning component. Let me go to a template also even. What is template? Like HTML. This is my template. And I'll say dev class, or why I need to use this class. Let's go back and get something from a developer.salesforce.com. So from here I'll go to my documentations. Lightning components, and I'll check my cart. So I can see there are two things, Aura components and Lightning Web Components. Now we are working with Lightning Web Components. Try to pick everything from Lightning Web Components. So we have things called basic card, and the benefit here is right in developer console. You can change it. See, you can see. So here I got like hello and all, right? Let's say Apex example, and I'll say call server slot actions, and I'll say card body output from server action. There are three ways to call your Apex method. First one as a property, second one as a function, and implicit calling. And what is the other one? Implicit, IMPLE. Mm, So you can see whatever C example you are seeing, right? You can actually change the data here and you can copy the code. See, this is advantage we have in Lightning Web Component. This is advantage we have in Lightning Web Component. Let's go back to your code. I'm changing it to completely. Okay, we already had a template, so we don't need a template anymore. Deploy this to Sosa. Now I need to call this component inside my Aura component, Lightning LWC. What I'm doing here, C hyphen LWC hyphen Apex hyphen class. Why I am using everywhere hyphen? Every capital letter should start with hyphen A, hyphen small letter, hyphen small letter. You got it? In LWC, how it is looking? This is generally LWC Apex class, right? This is how it is, the name of your component looks like, isn't it? So every capital letter should replace with small letter of hyphen. Instead of capital C, I'll say hyphen small c. And because we need to call this as a custom component, then C hyphen. Clear? Any questions? Hello? Okay. So you clear, right? Why we had like this hyphen? This is how we need to call our Lightning web components inside another Lightning web component. So now you are getting that Aura example also here, isn't it? So there is no issue. Now we'll see the real example, how to call actually the Aura Lightning component, I mean Apex class inside your Lightning web components. Now let's go back to your code and let me define one Apex class. Let me define one Apex class. So how can I define? Control Shift P, SFDX, create Apex class. SFDX create Apex class, and I'll name this as a S object service. S object service. I'll name this as a S object service. What was my class name? S object service. And we don't really need a constructor for this class. Then I'll write Aura enabled, and this is well and good. As I said, we have to keep the catchable equal to true if we want to use in a while call. See a catchable spelling. Catchable spelling, is that sounds right? Oh, that is not a catch. This is catchable. Cacheable, correct. So now I don't need public try and exceptions. That is more than. Otherwise, let's keep, and I'll also discuss about this one. Public static string, and I'll say get S object API name, and I'll say string object label. So I'll pass my object label, I'll get my object API name, okay? That's the expectation. Clear? But before going further, what I'll do, how many ways we have here? There are three different ways that we can call your Apex methods, isn't it? In the code itself I added. What are the three ways? As a property, as a function, imperatively calling your Apex methods, okay? Here it is not giving proper space. Let me add like a br. So now instead of doing this, I simply add some if loops. I simply add some, I simply add from if type, action type. I'm just changing it to action type. Control C. If action type equal to y property. If action type equal to y property, then I will say return y property. RETU then return y property. Now next one, else if action type equal to while function, then return. I'm just saying because we have three different types, so just checking like I'm gonna display output based on the event executions. What else we have? Else if action type equal to y, so let's say imperative call imperative, and I'll say my return imperative imperative execution. If something goes wrong, then I'll throw or handler message of get message, then this will return my error message. Clear? Any questions? Let's say save it, deploy, missing return statement. Okay. Return. Okay. This is your method that we call. How to declarative this method. So we need to import this method. If you want to access this method, then you need to import. What is your method name here? Get property name type, right? Get property type. So let's go. And first we need to import property type from single quotes at the rate Salesforce slash Apex slash slash. Copy. And just a quick question, how many Apex classes that you can refer in one Aura component? How many Apex classes that you can able to use in one Aura component? There? Anyone? How many Apex classes you will be using? Vamsi. How many Apex classes that we can use? Inside Aura control, Aura components, how many Apex classes that we can refer? Inside controller option. Yes, only one. You have no options to use more than one. Okay? But in Lightning Web Components, you can refer n number of Apex classes by simply importing the statement saying like this: method name and your subject, your class name. Got it? You can use more than one. That's a big advantage that we can have. You can refer any Apex class whenever you need it. So now there are some declaration. I'll go and show you. So we have a concept called calling Apex method. Calling Apex method as a while property. So there are some concepts called while property here. So how to define a while property? Let me implement it. So for while, we have to mention while. So because it is already while, then we need to import this while module from your Apex class @while. Uh, so we have, and then here we have two parameters. What is your property name? That property name, comma. Here you have your parameters you need to pass. So now let's say command action label colon double quotes. I'll say while a property. I'll say while a property, and then yes, no, action type is a label name now. This is a it's an argument, so you need to pass it. It's same as Aura component. There you will be passing set parameters, right? The same concept. And once you done, then you'll say while you can label whatever you wanted. While property variable. You can label whatever you wanted. Either you can write here, or either you can write here. It's fine. This is how your while property looks like. So only this much. That's it. Apex class will be invoked. Compare in Lightning Web Aura components how long it is, like call back function, and you need to do so much of stuff, right? Here, this much. Let's say there is another property we have called as a second one, call Apex method as a while function. It had little bit code, but it's again it's same. Let's say while function data. These are my variables. While function error, and I'll write my while function @while, and what is your property name? The method name importing statement, property type, and then comma, and then same concept, your action type, your label, column, and just taking this while function for a typo errors, avoid typo errors, while function, and then you have like process while function. Let's say I'm processing my while function now. I'm processing my while function. So if, okay, wire function have two things. They have data, comma, error. If anything goes wrong, then it will be error. If it is a data, then data, right? Then let's say data wire function data in Aura in Lightning Aura web components as Lightning web components. If you want to use any variable, then you need to use this dot variable name equal to, I'll say data. This is how you need to say. If it is error, if it is error, 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 then this dot wire function error equal to error. In error we have a body. Inside body you will be having your message. This is a standard way that if any error comes, it will be error, error inside body. That body inside you will be having a message. Clear? So the only thing here calling method as a property, here calling method as a wire function. Okay. So this is your function. Now here we are using only variable, nothing but your property. Instead of variable, now here we are using your function. Function will have a two parameters. One is data, the other one is error. If data, then we are assigning it, else we can process some other information, it's fine. But the other one, we have like imperative calling of affix classes. We have imperative calling of affix classes. Imperative calling of affix class. How to do? This is something on a button click or a user action we can define. Let's say user data, user user. So now I can see handle user event. If first let's say let params equal to, first we'll define all our params. What are the params we have? Action type, only one parameter we have in this case, action type colon double quotes. Let's go back, imperative. Let's go back, imperative. So I define my affix parameters, and then property name of your parents. So property name of parents, then we'll say then. We have to use a keyword called then, and then catch. Now let's do enter here. Inside then we'll be having a method. So how this looks? Result mapping with results mapping with your function. Results mapping with your function. How this function looks? This dot user data equal to this. How this is looking? We are using then, and then is mapping with this dot user data. It is mapping to function. The same way here you have error. Error or error equal to map and define your function. This function will go this dot error equal to error or error. So there are three ways that you can call your affix method. The first one is wire as a property. It's like a very simple one. It's become little complicated by adding wire as a function by implementing data and error explicitly. And here it's like completely different. Call your import statement, pass your parameters, then you need to use dot then, And you can even call again dot then. It's fine if you want to call another apex classes. But in this case, we are done with this. Clear? Any questions?